This is the Rugby Odds, where an unlikely pundit panel of a wordsmith, a WWE legend, a rugby star, and a supermodel scour the globe, seeking best bets and bad behavior. Are you not entertained?
Thank you. Cutting my chin in a rush, shaving before the show is worth it with this applause. I much appreciated. And if you look at the sponsor opportunity green room, you'll see WWE Hall of Famer turned rugby advocate John Bradshaw Layfield once again by himself because King Gift Egbelu is on the road, but rumored to be joining us shortly. Anyway, we have a great show. Look at the Your Company Name Here slate. We got the National Rugby League kicking off in Vegas, their 2024 season. Major League Rugby kicking off their season with an opener in NOLA, New Orleans. We also have the URC back in action, the top 14, Japan Rugby League 1 with some exciting Super Rugby stuff. We got it all, but before we get to any of it, let me bring in John. All right, John, 33-27, pretty good record. Unfortunately, our man that's missing in the studio once again, the traveler, King Gift Egbelu, he's getting the wooden spoon because he was 10-10 last week and because he's not here.
No, he's not.
Oh, sorry. Already gone. It's already been issued.
He's not. You can't give a king, in absence, a wooden spoon.
Yes, we set that. We established that precedent last weekend.
No, you can't. Why don't you stick it in your ear and stick it in the ear of one of those made-up Alexes that you claim you have?
All right. Well, we'll chat about this more off camera. But in the meantime,
no, we won't. We don't chat off camera. I don't like you. You don't have my phone number.
Let's chat on camera then, because we got a lot of stuff to cover this week. Because we have the NRL on American soil kicking off their season in Vegas with 2 matches.
Upon my order, unleash hell. Russell Crowe. Gladiator.
And his Rabbitohs.
We got his team coming over here, right?
His Rabbitohs are here, yes.
Yeah,
all right.
That's what I'm talking about.
So you read some of the Cliff Notes.
Hey, this is exciting. The NRL is something that could take off in America. I mean, this is exciting. They've got actual marketing mind power behind it, dollars behind it. They've got some celebrity interest. I mean, this is something I think that could really take off in the States. I'm excited the NRL is coming.
And, you had last weekend, they had their championship, the global championship, if you will, with the Wigan Warriors playing against the Penrith Panthers. An unbelievable, exciting match. This is the champions of the Southern Hemisphere versus the champions of the Northern Hemisphere. They get it. And they had this unbelievable match that ended at death with the guy just getting tackled into touch. They had to review it 1,000 times. Amazing match, and that's what World Rugby needs to recognize. They're doing it right in the NRL.
Big Daddy, his nephew, Hall of Fame Rugby League player at Huddersfield, Earl Crabtree. Big Daddy, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And Earl, his nephew, was one of the greatest rugby league players of all time.
I am so proud of you.
I love rugby league. They at least made for America. I mean, like their own Fox Sports. I mean, they're doing all the right things.
And they also are playing at the Raiders Stadium in Vegas, where the Super Bowl was. I mean, this is big time. Meanwhile, we have the MLR kicking off next weekend. And one cool thing is they're having the LA franchise, which was formerly the Atlanta team, the Rattlers. They're kicking off on Sunday, just after the LA Sevens ends in the same stadium, so fans can remain in the stadium. Great piggybacking idea, all stuff that's good. So that should be a great event.
I think it's great they're doing that. They need all kinds of cross promotions. They need to do something to create some interest. Look, right now, MLR owners, thank goodness, are willing to have a hobby. They lose $2 or $3 million a year, and they haven't figured out a way to. They got. By the way, I love the product. The product between the lines is great. Rugby's getting better and better and better. The presentation is, obviously terrible, but the MLR product, I love the fact rugby's in America.
Me too. I just wish I was working in it. John, we got to pick some MLR games. There's a rumor that Gift might be joining us after George joins us, so you and I are going to have the task of these games. And these spreads were, again, formed by our Rugby Wrap-Up crack staff for the TRO, for the Rugby Odds.
They're the morons that gave King Egbelu a wooden spoon, right?
No, there's the different morons. But, John, NOLA will open up the season hosting your Old Glory, and it's Old Glory road favorites -3.
Yeah, and I give the home field advantage to Nala down there. I think if they're playing, Segra Field was a terrible field. They got what they could in DC. They've got a much better location now. They got a much better home field advantage now. It will be, I think, hopefully a true home field advantage. Going down to Nala, though, Nala's got some money influx. It's hard to say right now with these teams until we see them for the first game, the first real game. I'm picking Nala to win at home by home field advantage.
I'm going with Old Glory on the road. How about Houston -5 versus Utah? Houston at home.
Yeah, it's going to be about 80 degrees, and it's not that hot, but Houston at home. But look, they're a team I've been waiting for to break out. They've got a great organization, one of the best in MLR down there, built their own facility, and they're doing everything right down there. Utah is as well. But I think Houston at home, give me the Texans to beat those Mountain Boys.
All right. I think the -5 is a little high. Utah always plays in those squeaky bum finishes. I'm going to take Utah with the points, but I think Houston will win. Seattle versus San Diego. This is a big match. Up in Seattle, opening at Starfire Stadium. Right now, San Diego, the road favorites by 4 points at Starfire.
Yeah, this is like opening with the Yankees-Dodgers. I mean, this is great. This is great that the first week of the year you step up and have this big game like this. I think it's going to be awesome. Starfire is a place where dreams go to die, though. San Diego is a great team. So is Seattle. But that home field advantage, especially the first home game, that stadium's going to be rocking. I think give me Seattle at home.
I'm going to take Seattle. San Diego's very, 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 very good, but I'm going to take Seattle.
You're suckering up to Adrian Belfort.
In the meantime, Miami, down in Miami, making their Major League Rugby debut, and they're hosting the Chicago Hounds, a much improved Chicago Hounds, who were last year's new team. Chicago road favorites by 6.
Yeah, Chicago never matched their potential last year. I thought they had a much better team than what their record was. But maybe year 2 is the year they put it all together. They got a lot of talent again. It's hard to say with Miami. I'm going to go with the established team, 1 year established at least. Give me Chicago visiting Miami.
I like Chicago covering that 6 as well. Then we have the Carolina Anthem out of Charlotte, the new team, the USA Rugby Eagles saturated squad, hosting the champion New England Free Jacks, and the Free Jacks -12 road favorites.
Make it -25. Free Jacks are going to run them out of the building. I just don't see any way a startup team that gets there and puts a team together at the last minute that has a chance against the Free Jacks. Free Jacks they're a good team.
And we saw that with Chicago last year, kind of last minute team thrown together, good on paper, but even this isn't a great on paper team, so they're going to have their struggles.
They're playing a solid team. I don't care if this is a regular season game. They give me the defending champs first game. I'm going to pick the Free Jacks. They're a good team and got to be the favorites. There's going to be some good rugby this year, and Free Jacks is going to be in some great games.
All right, then you've got the last one it's that match that we talked about, LA hosting Dallas, LA -3.
Yeah, Dallas played tough toward the end of the year. This is basically Atlanta's team that's in LA. It's so hard to say. You move a team, you get a few acquisitions. Give me Dallas visiting LA. Dallas played tough at the end of the year. They couldn't win a lot of games, but they played tough. And I think that'll transfer over into this year.
And they're led up front by their captain, Geronimo Gomez Vara, who is one of the toughest, most exciting, and still young players. Their captain, flanker, watch him. But I'm going with LA at home because he
really dislikes you. He talks about he dislikes you a lot.
Doesn't matter. I'm not working in the league. How you doing? But I'm going to go with LA at home, Rugby ATL. On that note, we got to take a break and welcome in George Hook.
Need a great price on a new vehicle? Sheehy makes it easy. Easy Price shows you our lowest prices on the Mid-Atlantic's largest selection. Find your best price online or at any of our 31 dealerships.
It's easy at Sheehy. Sheehy.com.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
And we're welcoming in again George Hook. George, welcome back. How are you?
Yeah. Yes. George Hook is here. Yes.
All right, first up, Ireland versus Wales.
Now, if you get offered 30 points against Wales, you take it. Now, this is a generational thing, all right? Guys of my generation, every 2 years, got on the boat and plane. We went to Cardiff and we came home with our tail between our legs. Countless times we went to Cardiff with a Triple Crown or a championship on, and the Wales denied us. Now, Wales are the worst team in the tournament. Installing Ireland as favourites for anything, in any sport, tiddlywinks, that's a kiss of death. So we went out with everybody saying, oh, we're going to win the championship. And we didn't play very well. But even playing not very well, we're better than Wales. The Wales defend very well? They did. Have you got a bunch of good young fellas, notably a captain 21? They have.
John, we talked a little bit off camera about Wales and your thoughts.
Yeah, look, you had Scotland and England both down to 13 players at one point in the second half. They come back from 27 down nil to 27-26 against Scotland. They come back at Twickenham against England. I thought it was a lack of discipline. I thought Ireland would not do that. I think it's the amount of pressure that these young guys from the Wales are putting on their opponents, because Ireland had the same thing. Penalty after penalty, got a yellow card. I mean, these kids play tough. They are not there yet. I mean, they're not in the league of Ireland, but Wales is a tough, I think, well-coached team full of very aggressive young guys. There's a good future of Welsh rugby, in my opinion, underneath Warren Gatland.
Next up, we had Scotland hosting England at Murrayfield.
England start off with a try and then fall apart. And they go back to, they can't catch it, they can't kick it, they can't hold it. They are just simply awful. And the one thing we know, whether it is the Boston Patriots or whatever, is that the quarterback is the key guy.
Yeah.
And the two key quarterbacks in this tournament are Crowley and Finn Russell. And it was proven on Saturday afternoon. Russell took England apart. And then the other thing, generations of hooks all the way back to my great, whatever he was.
Captain Hook.
Who was the drummer boy at the Battle of Waterloo. None of them could run quickly. So therefore, when you see a guy who can run fast, like Van der Merwe, left wing, interestingly, now you look at the Irish wing and you look at Lowe on the left wing, pace in abundance. And Scotland just took England apart. So you're going to see, again, 1974, England were at the bottom of the table and France was second from bottom. Ireland were top and Scotland was second. We could easily see that 50 years later, a different game in which I think in the whole championship in 1974, the biggest number of points scored by a team was 9.
Yeah. Well, the scoring was different too, though, George.
No, I accept all that. Of course, I accept all that. But this is what's called poetic license. All right?
And John, how about your thoughts on what happened at Murrayfield?
Scotland was a much better team. And I mean, much better. I mean, it was not, the score was not that indicative. Finn Russell is modern day Houdini. That guy is incredible. I think it's 5 for 5, 6 for 6, whatever it was on kicks. Didn't miss one. Plus, he is your playmaker. I mean, it's really impressive. The pace of the Scots, I mean, you're not used to seeing that in Scotland. I mean, this is under Gregory Townsend. This is a good Scottish side, and I think they're going to give Ireland a bit of a run. I don't think they're in Ireland's league. I think Ireland's in a league by themselves, but they're the only team I think that has a chance to play against the Irish.
And then it was Italy versus France in France, George.
France had scored 60-odd points against Italy in the World Cup. They lose Dante to a red card. I wasn't worried, because I would have thought France could probably beat Italy with 12 players. So they're down to 14, and France are awful. And then Italy For anybody who hasn't seen this, you got to find it somewhere. The last 60 seconds
Oh,
of
God.
Italy against France. The ball falls off the tee. Now he's got to put the ball back. The clock is ticking. He's got 6 seconds left. He's a quick stab with his left foot, and he hits the post. Net result in France. This is very important.
Yeah.
In France 13, Italy 13, a draw. Staggering performance by Italy. And the night before, and don't forget this, the night before in the under-20s championship, Italy beat France. So what's going on?
First time in 16 matches.
Yeah. Charles de Gaulle would not be happy about this. There's a problem now, I think, within the coaching structure of France, that Galtier and Sean Edwards or whatever, I don't think they're talking to each other.
John, what did you like about this Italy-France debacle?
Everything. Hey, how about those Italians? They're giving up 95 kilos in the pack. That is insane. And they still were doing decent in scrums. It's amazing how hard these guys play. France without Dupont is just a different team. George, is Italy on the upswing? Are they catching some teams on the downturn?
Well, I think we've been hoping for this Italian resurgence for a long time. I mean, when they came into the Six Nations Championship originally, they had a very good record. I remember them well, beating Ireland in a friendly game. And since then, they haven't. Domestic game, not great. No matter how Benton, Sebre try, it's not great. But what they have now, and this is the crucial thing, Ireland have a coach. Scotland have a coach. Italy have a coach. England do not have a coach. They just have a guy wearing the sweater.
With a big smile on his face.
And Warren Gatland cannot do a miracle with a country where the team is no good. Like you're looking, it's tragic. It's all now, but I know what's wrong with Welsh rugby. Have you ever heard of Margaret Thatcher? Have you?
I think we're running out of time right now. Yeah.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
Margaret
Thatcher destroyed Welsh rugby when she shut down the mining communities of South Wales. That was the end of Welsh rugby.
And there you have it. I just want to add two cents on this Italy match. Number one, the end was just all shenanigans. You had the water boy / guy of France right in the middle of the field. You had the referee saying he couldn't see the shot clock on his mic. You could hear it plain as day. And you can't charge a penalty the last time I looked, George. That's against the law. It should have been a re-kick. I don't know what's going on there, but Italy got completely ripped. And the easy scapegoat is Garbisi for missing that kick or hitting the posts. But how about the number 5 at like the 44-minute mark, coming out of the half, diving over the pile after Olivon takes the ball into contact and giving up the easy penalty in Italy territory for the easy penalty goal. This kick against the post wouldn't matter if Ruzza, the number 5, doesn't make that really stupid penalty. On that note, Joe.
Oh, absolutely. Layfield and I are now in awe that after about 5 years of doing this program, you've actually contributed some sane. Quite incredible.
Well, on that note, I'm going to leave it on a high. Thank you to Mr. George Hook.
Yeah, George Hook. Yeah.
We'll be right back after this.
You need your cleats? You need them tomorrow? If you order today by 3 p.m. New York time or noon LA time, they can have them to you tomorrow. Young, old, male, female, if you're playing on turf, if you're playing on grass, if you're playing in the rain, you're playing in the heat, they've got you covered. RugbyNow.com. Go there now.
And we are back, and we are
Yeah,
back.
we're back again. How many times we gonna start over?
King Gift Egbelu. King Gift Egbelu back from his travels in
All
Thailand.
hail King Egbelu. All hail King Egbelu. We've done this entrance about 42 times because you're
right.
a buffoon and you don't know English.
All right, so King, there's a lot of great stuff going on.
No, wait a minute. Admit you tried to give the king the wooden spoon.
Gift, you are monarchy, but management rules over monarchy.
No, it doesn't. Ask Stark what happened in Game of Thrones. Pow!
That
Head
was
gone.
a
Bam!
big show.
Bam!
Big-
Bam!
Big show
you
on a
tell the
streaming
wall that.
network.
You tell
And-
Khaleesi that and the dragon that.
Okay, that's a fake show on a great network, and you might see the likes of the NRL on a network like that
Why
because
would
they're
they be on
invading
HBO?
America.
They're already on Fox Sports.
What
They gotta
evs?
deal with Fox Sports.
Okay, well, anyway, the NRL making their season 2024 debut in Vegas. Unbelievable weekend coming up for the NRL, and you got Russell Crowe's Rabbitohs versus John's Manly Sea Eagles. The Rabbitohs Gift -1.5. Who do you like?
Man, I'm going with the Rabbitohs on this one. Russell Crowe's trying to hold him down in Vegas area. That's his second home, third home.
Bam!
You don't know that for a fact, but anyway, John, who do you like?
King knows
Says
everybody.
you.
Oh, my command, unleash hell. Gladiator. You think I'm going against Russell Crowe? No.
That makes 3 of us. And how about the next match? You've got
Bandwagon hopper.
Sydney Roosters versus the Broncos. John, your Broncos, and your Broncos are the favorite, -3.5 points.
They should be. I'm taking the Broncos.
Gift, the Broncos, of course, coming off that very difficult loss in the final last year, the grand final, but they're back. They've licked their wounds. Are they going to take it out on the Roosters?
Yes, it's Broncos on this one. Look, they're coming back with a strong team. They're going to do it again. They're going to get
I
it
think
again.
we're all in agreement on this. This
Are
is
you
amazing.
bandwagon hopper?
What? This is great. I mean, we're just a feel-good story here. All right,
No,
now.
you're copying us.
All right, that was the NRL. Now we're going to jump codes. We're going to go back to Rugby Union, and we're going to go to at one of our favorite leagues, the URC, the United Rugby Championship. They're back in action. A big match, Gift, that I know that you're going to be watching is the Stormers going to the Bulls, and yet it's the Bulls -6.5.
Yo, nothing about that surprises me. We know what the Bulls have been able to do. Stormers might have been the dominant ones, but look, Bulls have pulled up. They've done a lot. I look at the Bulls. I actually think the Stormers are going to cover, but I wouldn't be surprised for the Bulls to still get the win.
Well, the Bulls are the favorite, so if you're going to say that they're going to cover.
I said the Stormers are going to cover.
Right.
The Stormers are going to cover, which means that I think that even the Bulls will win. I don't think they will cover their points. So I think this will be a close game. If the Bulls are the favorites, the Stormers are not the favorites, which means that -6.5, they will
So you just said everybody is going to cover. Everybody's covering.
The Stormers will cover. I think the Bulls will win, which means they will win by less than 6.5 points.
Okay. What's that? Oh, we got to move it along. John, who do you like in the URC?
Stormers. I'm going with the Stormers as well. I'm also going with, I believe, the Lions. The Sharks have been, look, that back row of theirs, they got one of the best kickers in the league, and they've got incredible fast back row, but they have just not put it together for some reason, the Sharks. Lions have been pretty tough. I think this is a close game. Give me the points with the Lions.
I'm going up to Ulster. Ulster licking their wounds. They're at home. -20.5 points over the Dragons, but I think they're going to absolutely destroy the Dragons in Ulster. So I'm taking Ulster minus those points. How about the Super Rugby competition, weekend 2? And as you know, they're all being played in Melbourne, all the matches, and the Melbourne Rebels are dealing with whether they're going to go into bankruptcy/administration, but all the teams are playing in Melbourne, so there's really not much of a home field advantage for anybody. Gift, who do you like?
I think first and foremost, it's got to go to the Fijian Drua over Moana Pacifica. Fijian Drua had a great year starting last year. I think they're going to kick off with that. Moana Pacifica, not as good as we hoped. Look for Fijians, absolutely claim that area, claim that game. Points and win.
Good pick. John.
Give me the Melbourne Revs. Look, I told you I was at the Melbourne Cup, the horse race, when the entire country was drunk in Melbourne. So this city is full of drunk people. Matt, you would fit right in, except you fall down when you're drunk, or you fall into Steve Lewis's hindquarters. Give me the Melbourne Rebs.
These are two remarkably good picks from you two. I'm stunned. I am stunned that you idiots have come to this conclusion. Great, congratulations. Take a bow, guys.
Why are you calling us names? We pick better.
So
than
rude.
You.
Exactly.
Walks
so
like
for
a
no
duck.
reason.
How you doing? And now we're off to Japan for the Rugby League One action. Gift, I know you got a pick that you're just dying to give us.
Look, I've said for the last several weeks, man, I am Team Toyota Verblitz, and they are about to do a smash job on these Kobe Steel guys. Verblitz are going to continue being a dominant force in JP1.
Okay. All right. John?
I wrestled in Japan, I don't know how many times. Used to travel over there almost every single month. If I'd have got to face the Kintetsu Liners, I'd still be champion and undefeated. They're the worst team in the history of teams. They're like the team that played the Harlem Globetrotters.
The Washington Generals.
Yeah, we know who it is, Matt. I raised my hand. I raised my Washington Generals. Look at me, Steve.
His mic is muted, ladies and gentlemen, but he does have to give his pick, so we're going to bring him back in.
Pick whoever the Kintetsu Liners are playing, which is the Brave Lupas.
I'm going to go with the Cannon Eagles over the Honda Heat, who are awful. We'll be right back after this.
From New York City comes America's longest running and most popular rugby show. The biggest names in Major League Rugby, MLR highlights, and big match previews. Rugby Wrap-Up presents MLR Weekly, made in New York City.
And finally, long last, we have our picks of the week.
All right, so I think I'm going to do an over-under on the amount of people that are going to be at this NRL game at this moment. As you showed to us, it's 35,000 seats sold. I think, which means if you're doing Vegas, March, with casual seating, probably look at another 5 to 10,000. So I'm looking at an over the 35, probably getting about 45,000 people at the game, which would take up, what, all but maybe 20,000 seats of that 65,000 seat stadium. So
you're going 45,000.
Going 45,000.
Okay. John?
Take the points, take Benetton. That's my bet of the week.
Ooh. I'm going to go with the New England Free Jacks, minus the points versus the Anthem, and it's going to be a long afternoon for the young Anthem team. And on that note, I want to thank WWE Hall of Fame return rugby advocate John Bradshaw Layfield, King Gift Egbelu, the inventor of words, who's finally back with us, and George Hook, the Irish rugby legend. And thank you for tuning in. Please check out our other programs, including MLR Weekly, the College Rugby Wrap-Up. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Sign up for our weekly newsletter, and please join our American Red Cross blood donor team.
How many things are you going to promote? I mean, at least MLR could use you in commentary. Those dummies you got you right here is doing all this stuff for Rugby United States, and they don't use you on commentary. Bunch of buffoons.